There's a scene where we're in a big industrial lot kind of getting chased around by these giant cement trucks. And there's a few clips from it in the commercials and trailers and stuff. And those days were difficult. It was very hot and dusty, and we had these giant cement trucks which were just so big and difficult to move and slow, and they would never quite do what you wanted them to do. And I remember we had to go back and kind of, that was a sequence we were all worried about. And in the end, it's actually one of the coolest parts of the whole movie, and it's really fun, and you would never know in a million years watching it that it was such a pain to achieve. But while we were doing it, it felt like we were never going to leave that industrial lot, like we were going to run away from garbage trucks forever.
Because most of the physical elements were physically done. Like we really hang a bulldozer 100 feet above the Jaguar to smash it. Of course, that's not a real bulldozer that flies.
But it actually crushes things,
He started from the sky and really smashed it. And we had the hole, and we have the 3 cement trucks, and it was pretty complicated choreography.
There's almost no computer-generated effects in the whole movie. Almost everything that you see happen actually happened. So the scenes where you see a lot of big trucks driving around and crashing into stuff and blowing up, we actually did all that stuff, and it was incredibly complicated to achieve.
That's why there is a big title for the special effects supervisor, because we felt sorry for him.
Exactly.
We had to put his name in big.
Me and Jay?
Yeah.
I hope so.
It's going to be big in China.
I'm not a good singer, but I can rap okay, so maybe we'll do it.
Thank you, guys.
其实我觉得他说他不会唱歌，其实他蛮会的。在私底下，他有时候我听他的哼唱这些旋律，其实那个 reason 呢都还不错啊。pitch 都蛮准的，所以不过如果说我们出一张专辑的话，应该可以乘胜追击啊，就是趁现在清风起来的宣传，然后顺便卖专辑，应该卖得不错。他就负责 rap 就好了，然后我就唱那个 melody 这样。
The Green Hornet, it's a really old character, predates even Superman back in the 1930s. Was it hard to modernize via directing, acting, and writing the Green Hornet?
Well, I gotta say the most difficult thing about it is it's literally the first ever literary example of a guy in a city wearing a mask fighting crime. It's before Batman, like you said, and Superman and Spider-Man and essentially every single comic book character. So the tricky thing was all of these things that are now much more famous than the Green Hornet are very derivative of the Green Hornet. We had to find a way to include all the things that are actually original to the Green Hornet, but do it in a way that it didn't seem like we were in fact ripping off the things that had ripped off the Green Hornet.
So, like for instance, we were the first series to ever not reboot the car. We just took the car as it was.
It's true, yeah. I mean, that was one of the first discussions we had. Is what's the first thing all these movies do? Is they take the car and make it weird looking, and so we just thought we won't do that. We'll take the car and make it exactly how it was originally. And I think things like that do make it seem a little bit retro and a little bit more old school, which I think, again, plays against the direction that a lot of these movies tend to move their properties in, which is generally just more and more futuristic and weird, for lack of a better word.
And for me, visiting the big printing factory of the Los Angeles Times, which was a set for a big final scene, it was quite amazing because we are at a turn where the press is changing medium from paper to electronic, and we saw this like state-of-the-art, brand new factory who was already not working full speed because there is not so much paper printed. Yeah. But to me, I saw that like in Detroit, the General Motors factories that are completely let with no activity, and that's why I really wanted to anchor this big action sequence in this. To me, it looks like a battleship, and I thought for a fight, it was a very good background. Yeah.